Hello and welcome everyone to this channel. My name is Kumar Saurabh, and today in this video tutorial we will discuss PostgreSQL insert into table. Let's see what we are going to cover in this video. First we are going to discuss how to insert a single row in Postgres. Then we will learn how to insert multiple rows in Postgres, which means we will learn how to insert more than one rows into a PostgreSQL table. Then we will learn how to insert rows with auto-increment column. If any of the column in a table defined as an auto-increment, then here we will learn how to insert data into that kind of column. At the end we will know about how to insert a data into table from a CSV file. Move to the first topic. To insert a row into a PostgreSQL table, we use the insert into statement. Look at the syntax. Insert into, then we specify the table name. After that we specify the column of that table, like a column 1, column 2. Then we specify values keyword to specify the value for that column, like a value 1 and value 2. So we are going to take an example to understand how insert into statement works. So first here I am going to create a new table named player that is going to contain the player name, weight, height and player ID. So let's create this table and see how to insert data into this table using insert into statement. So the players, and the first column is going to be player ID, and its type is integer, so it's going to store integer value. Then player name, its type is going to be something string, or in PostgreSQL if we say varchar, length is going to be 300. And then player weight, it's going to be integer type, and then player height. So execute the code to create the table players, and as we can see that query returned successfully, which means table is created successfully. Let's view this table. Select asterisk from table name players and execute the code. As we can see, the table doesn't contain any data because we haven't inserted any data. So to insert data, we are going to use a insert into statement. Let's see, insert into, then we specify the table name where the data will be entered. Then after a table, we specify the columns of the table, like a player ID and a player name, then player weight. After specifying the columns name of the table, we specify the keyword values. So we will provide here the value for that columns. Now specify the value. First value is going to be ID, so here we will give ID 1. Then the player name is James, player weight is going to be 57, and player height is 170. So this is the syntax, or how we insert data into a table. First we write insert into keyword, then we specify the table name, like here the table name is players, then we specify the columns of that table where the data will be inserted. So like a player ID, player name, player weight and player height. After that we specify the values to supply the values or provide value for the specified columns. So execute this statement. As we can see, it's showing error. Let's debug it and see why it's showing error. Change it to James. Okay, execute this line. Yeah, data is inserted successfully because we have to use a single quote while giving the name or while specifying a string thing for the column. Let's view the table data. So execute the code. Now as we can see, this table contains data or players information, and the player name is James with a height 170 and the weight is 57. So this is how we insert a single data into a table in PostgreSQL. So in previous sections we learned how to insert a single statement or a single rows into a table. In this section we are going to learn how to insert multiple rows using a single statement. So for that what we are going to do is to follow the same syntax as we followed in previous section. And then after the value keyword, as we can see here, we will specify list of values separated by comma, as we can see here. So let's understand with an example. So we are going to use the same table and we'll insert the rows after the rows that we inserted in previous section. As you can see here, we have inserted the player name James. So let's insert multiple values using this single statement, insert into. For that let's first is James, and then we will use a second value which is going to be John, and John weight is going to be 60 and height is 168. Then again we will specify one more player's information. It is going to be 3 and name is going to be Johnny, and height is weight is around 65 and height is 175, and we will remove this first player information because we have already inserted. If we insert with this information, remove it, and let's execute this statement. Now again execute this. Sorry, I haven't specified the comma to separate the values. Again execute the code successfully. As we can see, we have inserted two more player information like John and Johnny using the insert into statement. So this is how we insert multiple values into a table using insert into statement. Previous section we have learned how to insert multiple rows using a single insert into statement. Now in this section we will learn how to insert rows with a auto increment column. Suppose if we have a table and one of the column of that table is defined as auto increment, how we are going to insert value in that column? Now look at this syntax. What we do, first we specify insert into keyword, then we specify table name. After that we specify that auto increment column name, then the name of other column, then we specify values. After that, in values list, as we can see here, we provide a value as a default keyword for this auto increment column. Here we will not specify any exact value like 1, 2 or the name. Here we will use only keyword default. So let's understand with an example. So for example, I'm going to use the same table players, but I have changed the data type of column player ID from integer to serial. This serial key defines the column player ID as a auto increment column. So let's create this table. Table is created successfully. Now view the table that we have created. As we can see, first this table doesn't contain any information, so we will insert information using insert statement. As you can see here, after insert into, we have specified the table name, then the column of that table like a player ID, player name, player weight, player height. After that, values keyword to provide a value for that columns, and in a place of exact value for a player ID like we have provided in previous section 1, 2, 3, I have used a default keyword, and for other column the value is same, like a player name is Adam and weight is 62 and height is 163. Let's insert this data into the table player. As we can see, we have successfully inserted data into table players. Let's view this table. So in the output, as we can see here in the column player ID, the value is 1, but this value we haven't provided here in the value list of insert into statement. We have provided only default keyword. So this is how we insert data into column of type auto increment in PostgreSQL. This is the last topic of this tutorial. How to insert data from CSV file into table PostgreSQL. So to insert data into a table in PostgreSQL from a CSV file, the copy keyword is used to copy data from a CSV file into a table in PostgreSQL. Now look at the syntax to copy data from CSV file into a table. First we specify the copy keyword, then we specify the table name. After that we specify the column of that table where the value will be stored. Then we specify from and the path of that CSV file wherever the CSV file is stored on your computer. After that we specify delimiter, which is used to tell that the data in the CSV file is separated using the comma, and after that we specify CSV header to tell that while importing or fetching a data from CSV file into table, don't include the header of that CSV file or the first line of that CSV file. Let's understand with this an example. So before inserting data from CSV file into table, make sure that you have already created the table. Here I have already created table players with column player ID, player name, player weight and player height. So as you can see here, I have specified the keyword copy, then table name players, after that column of that table, and then specified the from keyword for CSV file wherever it is stored on computer. As you can see here, I have provided the path of the CSV file. Let me show you how you can find this path in those. As you can see here, this is the CSV file, and for the path you will click here in the URL bar or local URL bar of this Windows, and you will copy from this. After that, come here in this admin application and paste the address like this. After file path or the address, specify the delimiter, which tells that the data values of CSV file is separated using At the end, specify the CSV header, which means while fetching data or importing data from CSV file into table, don't include the first line or header. Let's execute this line. This line is executed successfully. Now view the table. As we can see that we have successfully imported or fetched data from a CSV file into a table players. So these are the player James, John and Ronnie. This is how to import data or insert data from CSV file into a table in PostgreSQL. Before we end this tutorial, let me tell you that we have a detailed post about insert into table on our website databasefacts.com, where you will be able to learn much more about inserting rows into a table. I hope that you have enjoyed a video tutorial about how to insert rows into a table in Postgre. At the end, I want to say thank you and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel.